G'day, g'day, you're back again. Goodness me. Anyway, so this plant here goes by a lot of names. Kumbunji, cattail, bulrush, and this occurs everywhere in Australia, all the way down to Tasmania, all the way over to West Australia, all the way up in the Northern Territory. And this even occurs over in other countries too, like Canada and stuff as well. So this is a water reed that grows in mostly along ponds, the side of ponds where it's like still water. Now this is a food and it's a medicine too, but it's also good for weaving, as you might have guessed, with these long strappy bits here. Gotta remember to breathe. Now the top of this fella here, right, you see that little yellow bit at the top there? That there is actually a whole lot of pollen. And the lower bit, the lower brown bit, you see on this further one here, it's already lost, actually it hasn't lost, I've harvested all of the furry bit that was on there. And the lower bit is actually, I think the female part, and the male bit is obviously the pollen, right? So, the very top of this little thing, in New Zealand, the Māori will actually gather up the pollen from this and make little pollen cakes. But I tend to just eat the whole head of it, just as is. Now, I've gathered one of these earlier, so I can show you a bit of the medicine of it, and also the extra food. So we got this big stalk here, all right? Now, you can peel this down, okay? So you peel this, where's our outermost piece? You peel that, go like this, right? All the way down. Get that off there. And again. And you start to get this sort of stuff here, right? And you can actually use that for dental floss as well. But then you get even further into it, right? And you start to get this real sort of like sticky stuff that's coming up a little bit there, right? And you can use that like aloe vera on sunburns. So I'll just get right in there. Should be really able to get some really sticky stuff down here. Nice sound. Yeah, so all this stuff inside, you can actually pound this, right? This material here. You can pound that and you get a substance like aloe vera. It's very like a gel. And if you have any skin burns, sunburns or anything, you apply this stuff onto it. It's really good and it makes good bandages too. Now this entire internal core, you can actually eat that as well. And you can eat the roots of this plant too. It's actually really quite nice. I do like this little plant. Now, of course, this has started to go to, oh, there we go. So it's where it snaps there is where it's going to be sweetest. Mmm. Oh, shit, yeah. Oh, shit, yeah. That's good. That's real nice. What about its base? Yeah, that's nice. I like that. So, yeah. Now, you can roast that, and it's got a, has a very pleasant sweet taste, actually. Very nice. And then, yeah, again, you can roast it, or you can keep peeling it and get more of that goodness out. Now, you can also eat the roots of this, but you've got to dig down a bit. And that's usually in the flood season when it's a bit easier to harvest at it. You see how it just breaks off effortlessly like that? That whole chunk there is all edible goodness. Delicious. Really delicious. So there you go. You got the medicine. Oh, yeah, and this is cool too. Check out the fluffles. So here's an old head of it. And I used this a few years back to make bedding for a dog. But check this out, eh? You can make tea from this too. See that? It just fluffs up like crazy. Now this is an old stalk from last year, but there you go. Look at it all just blowing in the wind. So there you go. So that's cool too. And also the young stalks were used as practice spears for the young Aboriginal children. So weaving, medicine for sunburn, young spears for young children. The pollen, you can eat that as a bread as well. And there you go, cattail, kumbunji. It's absolutely great for purifying rivers and streams and all that sort of jazz. And it's a frog habitat too, so it's where a lot of little froggies live. So yeah, edible roots, edible flower heads, make tea from the brown parts, like as I said, these brown stalks there. So the female flower is this brown part underneath. The male flower is the little chunk that is now all just spikes here. So, yeah, female flower underneath and the male flower on top.